We are taking a standard issue brown stew and turning it into a steaming bowl of seared, handcrafted dumplings. This is the starting point. These meals, known as MREs, or meals ready to eat, are designed to feed soldiers in the field. They prioritize shelf life and durability over culinary appeal. Looking at these pouches and nutrition labels, you can see exactly what we are working with. We have shelf-stable entree bases and dry snack components like wheat bread and pretzels. To elevate these components, we need a few fresh pantry staples: regular flour, eggs, shallots, carrots, peas, a little butter, and Parmesan cheese. By applying standard culinary techniques to these packaged ingredients, we change the texture and flavor profile of a meal built for survival, turning it into something you'd want to order off a menu. Step 1 is building our starch base. We start by isolating the dry components from the kit: the wheat bread, the pretzels, and the mixed nuts. Take those hard snacks and mill them down into a fine, unified powder using a food processor or a mortar and pestle. This image shows the exact consistency you need. You want to achieve this gritty, sand-like texture before moving on to the wet ingredients. Next, combine your new MRE flour with a dusting of regular flour, the Parmesan, 3 eggs, a little nutmeg, some lemon zest, and a dash of olive oil. Work the mixture together using a slow, mushing technique. You want to bring the dough together gently without overworking the gluten in the regular flour. Here is a critical step. Wrap this dough and put it in the fridge for 45 minutes. The dry snack particles need that time to fully absorb the moisture from the eggs and oil. That resting period ensures you get a cohesive dumpling. If you skip it, you'll end up with a pile of crumbs that disintegrate as soon as they hit the boiling water. Once the dough has rested, roll it out into small, marble-sized balls. Bring a pot of water to a boil, but do not add salt. The MRE components already contain high levels of sodium, so adding more to the water will over-season the final dish. To cook these evenly and prevent the high heat agitation from tearing them apart, we are going to use a cartouche. A cartouche is simply a parchment paper lid placed directly on the surface of the cooking liquid. Take a square of parchment paper, fold it repeatedly into a thin triangle, and give it a single cut to create a perfect circle. To make sure it fits your pot perfectly, measure the folded paper from the center of the pot out to the edge before you make that cut. Drop the dumplings in and place your new cartouche directly on top of the water's surface. Look at this comparison. These dumplings will triple in size as they boil, which is exactly why we started with such small portions. The cartouche acts as a lid that traps steam and keeps the dumplings submerged, giving you a consistent, fluffy interior. Now let's address the sauce. Open the MRE vegetable beef stew pouch, and you will notice the vegetables are quite mushy and overprocessed. The grayish potatoes in the mix drag down the dish, so go ahead and pick those out and discard them entirely. To replace them, we are bringing in blanched carrots and peas to provide fresh, crisp texture. Get a pan on the stove, melt down a little butter, and sweat your chopped shallots. Next, drop the boiled dumplings into the pan. We want to develop a Maillard crust, which is the golden brown, flavorful exterior created when proteins and sugars react to heat. Once they are evenly browned, pour the remaining beef stew base and your fresh vegetables right into the pan to assemble the dish. Look closely at this simmering pan. The dull tones of the original MRE are completely replaced by the vivid colors of the fresh produce. By swapping out the dead vegetables and browning the dumplings, you effectively mask the industrial origins of that base stew. To serve, plate the dish in a shallow bowl and make sure the dumplings get a generous coating of the enriched sauce. Finish it off with a garnish of fresh chopped parsley to provide a crisp, herbal counterpoint to the rich beef flavor. This slow-motion shot proves the technique works. Cutting into the dumpling reveals a fluffy, well-hydrated, and steaming center. Hidden inside that presentation is a highly nutritious meal, packed with the calories and protein from the MRE's nuts and wheat bread. Through strategic milling, with proper hydration, and adding fresh aromatics, a standard shelf-stable military ration becomes a restaurant-quality dinner.